Edward here from erviewer.com. I have another video for you. This is would fall under the terms of what I call a time sensation project. These are my pursuits of attempting to perceive targets that have yet to be selected for me, targets that exist in the future, other people's involvement in the project that is exists in the future, and that while I am doing the session. I am doing this, my part of it, prior to anyone else being involved or selecting a target for me. So that's how I set these up, is I'll do the session, I'll come up with the idea to do a session, I will do the session attempting to perceive, experience, and describe the target that will be selected for me in the future. And then after I'm done with the session, I then send a text request to my friend Dustin and asking him if he would be willing to select a brand new target for me to remote view. So once I do that after the session, then he becomes involved and then his target selection process begins. What I'm looking for and what I perceived and experienced in this session was to, as I was doing the session, feeling that there was a remote viewing taking place, and then turning my attention towards that pocket of time between then and when Dustin would become involved, to see if there was something there that I could perceive within that frame of time. In that, what I was experiencing, and you'll see it in this video, is a kind of a quiet pocket, a lack of stimulated noise or mental process static happening. Meaning that as I turn my attention towards that pocket of time between now and Dustin becoming involved, there was a very kind of quiet, even keel signal, so to speak, but very little noise or chatter or mental processing taking place or activity at or right below the threshold of my awareness. That was very interesting. It's in this video, and you can see me as I'm experiencing it. The difference between that and why that's different for me is that as I'm doing these types of sessions and experiments where I am attempting to experience a target that it will be selected for me in the future, as opposed to remote viewing a target that has already been selected for me, is that when I'm going to do a session of a target that I know someone has already selected for me, or I'm going to grab from an online database or whatever, there's a certain amount of static or noise or activity taking place in my mental processes right below the threshold of my awareness. Something is, I already know that the target is ready for me. I just have to go and do the session. So there's stimulation happening right at the threshold of my awareness, and it's noticeable. In this one, because the target has yet to be selected, no one else is involved, that wasn't there. It was a clear kind of tunnel-like, what I call a time void. And it was very interesting to experience. You'll see it in this video, of this kind of a calm, silent void. Although that was already after I had done the majority of the work on the session, where I felt an actual remote viewing was taking place, and in that space was what I experienced as this time void. It's very cool, very interesting space to go into, and I look forward to going into it again. So that's what that part of this is about. Now, so I did the session February 2nd, about 4:30 in the afternoon. After I did the session, I sent Dustin a text, can you pick a new target for me? At about 9:30 later in the evening, he texted me back and said that he had selected a target. So I did this session between 4 and 4:30 in the afternoon. He selected the target between 9 and 10 p.m. that same night. So that's the frame of time that I was working with. So that was fine. So what I sent him some images of my work. He said, okay, it looks there's something there. Would you like to continue? Do you want the feedback, or do you want to continue on with some movements? Because there's something there. I said, let's keep going. So what happened then was it turned into a project of 3 additional paper sessions. The target turns out to be a strange anomalous activity taking place below the Pacific Ocean off the coast of California, where in some Google images, and you can go and look at them yourself, of what appears to be a large kind of round object of some kind that appears to be moving, zigzagging and curving its way along the bottom of the ocean, kind of digging a path along the way. As well as some additional kind of grid-looking patterns under there as well. I don't know what that's about, but that's what the target ended up being. So I did 3 additional paper sessions that were very, very interesting to me, and those 3 videos will be coming out next. So you can kind of take a look and see what you think about that. Some fascinating stuff. But that's what this is about. This space, what I'm calling a time void that I've been able to experience. So fascinating to me. This is what my work is about. This kind of exploration. This is what I'm about. This is my work. So hope you find it interesting, and many more to come. Okay, it is Friday, February 2nd. It is 4:24 p.m. Calling this Time Sensations Project 7561. I'm going to do this session, and then I will send a text to Destin requesting that he select a brand new target for me. So at this point, I'm the only one who is involved with this project. The target will be selected in the future. The target selector will be added to the project in the future. So I have that range of time right now where it's only me and the future event, which has its own distinct feeling, almost like a void. Like I'm in a void. But it feels interesting. It's an interesting time of void. Very little noise. It's a cool place to be. Okay, so in the future, at some point, Dustin will become involved and he will select a target. I'm going to attempt to experience that range of time and space now and describe it. Seven, 5, 6, 1. Whites, brown, black, silver. There's a word double or 2. I seem to always get that. 7, 5, 6, 1. 7, 5, 6, 1. Round, tubular, large, back and forth, inside, angular, large, growing or expanding. This is an idea word. It's kind of a random thought, but an idea. Interesting word, wise. I guess it's kind of like an idea. Wise. That's interesting. 7, 5, 6, 1. 7, 5, 6, 1. Round, flat, dense. Again, brown, black, checkered, patterned, patterned, you know, like in this kind of checker pattern. Yellow. On the grid. Kind of checkered, like a dimensional sensation with that. It's this reminds me of a grid. Reminds me of a grid pattern. Or a mesh. Seven, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 1. White, tubular, again brown and yellow, black and curved, metallic, getting an image of a car. It's like a reminds me of like a metal mesh covering something. Grooves. All right. If this is real, if remote viewing is taking place right here, right now, then now I want to explore some other things, like the time void, because this feels like it's in there, like the time void I was experiencing was empty, And now this feels like it's in that time void. And time void as a generic expression of a combination of neurological activity, voices, and getting an image here of people. Somewhere, but voices. So the time sensation here is feeling like my mind is existing in this time void with this. I just want to hang out here. I just want to experience it. But we'll go ahead and end on that. And we'll see if this is correct in the future when the target is selected, and then I can observe. Observe what I'm experiencing right now. So it is 4:34 p.m. I'm going to send Dustin a text. When he reads it, he will then become involved in this experiment. And that is sent as of 4:35 p.m. Whenever he gets it, he will become involved.